Welcome back. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive for the time being. If you're new here, welcome. I have an awful, garbage, filthy mouth where sometimes, just sometimes, I tend to use the word fuck as a comma. I know it's disgusting. I need to be stopped. So if you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is not the place for you. Feel free to exit out the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. If you want to jump straight to the overall review of the product, I'll leave a time code down below. Feel free to jump ahead. I don't even understand how this happened, so let's unpack this. I don't know how to cook. I know how to make the basics: eggs, cereal, and ordering food. I really do want to learn how to cook, but why when I have a husband that does that for me? Anyway, Alex was at work the other day and I didn't want to eat eggs or cereal, so I figured, why not check out Uber Eats? Now, it's tough times in New York, okay? It's either Burger King, which is very disgusting, or Thai food, which is delicious. So Thai food it is. Since we're in the hellmouth, the only option is contact-free delivery. The driver basically will leave your food anywhere around the premises and it's up to you to find it. Think of it like a shittier Easter egg hunt. What I like to do is just meet the person outside. It's the easiest thing. I come prepared with my mask, my gloves, and my hazmat suit. Plus it allows me to walk outside for more than 2 minutes so I can remember that it's spring outside. I shit you not, the last time I left the house, I kept remarking on, oh my God, I can't believe there are leaves on the trees. Mother Nature, I'm sorry. Ooh.
Spooky.
It's like living in a Stephen King novel. It's only a matter of time before I have to fight a giant spider in a cave. Anyway, I'm checking the app and I see that the driver is going to be delivering my food in a couple of minutes. I'm beyond excited. So I suit up, I head downstairs, and I'm greeted by my neighbor, the same neighbor whose friend smelled my shoes. I was at a loss for words. I just looked at her and looked down immediately because I just don't know how to bring it up. Hi, beautiful weather we're having. By the way, your friend is a fucking weirdo. No? Okay. What can I say? I really just don't like confrontation. Anyway, I head downstairs and I'm waiting outside. And in the corner, I see the driver, the beautiful driver in his lovely Jeep Cherokee, round the corner. And he starts to slowly roll to where I am. Now the guy had his window down the whole time and he just yells at me.
Name?
It actually startled me because I wasn't expecting him to be yelling at full force. So I said, what?
Name? Name, please?
Teresa? I even questioned my own name. This man yelled so hard, I was like, is that my name? I think that's my name. Teresa?
I got you, Teresa. Hold on.
Okay, sure. Yeah, whatever you want, buddy. Now, usually the driver stops. I'll walk over to the car, I collect my shame, and run back inside. So I was attempting to do that when the man just yelled,
hold on!
And he gets out of the car, and this is where it goes downhill. He left the car running. So as soon as he was approaching me, his car was beelining towards a parked car on the corner. He literally, with all his might, threw the food at me. I caught it because I was in Little Leagues growing up, and that is true. I was the only girl on the team. So much so that a lot of them just thought I was a husky boy, but I wasn't. I was a girl. I had titties to prove it. That was a weird thing to say. Whatever. Anyway. This man ran to his car and he tried to like open the door up, right? He actually hoisted his leg up onto the car while it was moving, which was pretty impressive. He's grabbing at the car handle, just screaming, no! Just like fucking full on amazingness, right? And I'm just watching this, clutching my Thai food like, oh my God. This was the slowest car crash I have ever seen in my whole life. Now, what I didn't understand was his window was open. He could have easily just unlocked the door, flew it open, jumped into the seat. And when I realized this, I yelled, hey, your window's open. But it was too late. The car smashed very slowly into the parked car. He then looked back at me, unlocked his car, got into the driver's seat, and said,
Teresa?
Yes?
I was never here.
And he immediately peeled out and drove off into the sunset. Luckily, from what I could see, there didn't seem to be any damage, or if there was damage, it was very, very minimal. I couldn't even see it from across the street. Anyway, I collected my food and I went back upstairs. I love Uber Eats. They're so great. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about the Melt Cosmetics 420 palette. But before I give you my overall thoughts, let me read you a little bit about the palette first. Melt Cosmetics 420 eyeshadow palette retails for $58. A palette with a striking array of potent yellows, amber neutrals, and bold greens. This palette's colors were inspired by the vivid hues and tones found in Shatter, the most concentrated and powerful version of cannabis. So for $58, what exactly do you get? You get this beautiful, grungy 10-pan color story that speaks to me on so many fucking levels. The palette layout falls in line with many of the other Melt Cosmetics palettes. And I love this fun lenticular cover, which by the way was really fun to Google because I had no idea what this process was called. If you learned anything today, know that this process is called lenticular. You're welcome. This palette consists of 9 matte shades and 1 glistening shimmer, which I'm okay with because I don't like the shimmer formula for Melt Cosmetics. Actually, let me take that back. I like the shimmer shades in the holiday palettes. The shimmers in any other palette that I have from Melt are usually fussy little shits that don't want to do what they're told. For example, my Smoke Sessions palette is currently growing legs and speaks 3 languages, which I know sounds really impressive, but it's actually scaring the shit out of me. I'm gonna start with the glistening shimmer of this palette. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I used glitter glue with this shade and I'm happy to report that there was no glitter bukkake of any kind. Now this product gets very, very chunky and it doesn't like to spread out to make it like an even coat. You'll find that the product just adheres to your lid in such a way that it actually creates a really gross texture. It actually almost makes your lid a little crunchy, a little dehydrated, kind of like a mummy's dick, or what I think would look like a mummy's dick. Again, I wasn't there during the ancient times, but this is what I imagine. At the end of the day, I was able to make it okay looking, but I wasn't impressed by any means. It took way too much time hand-holding and switching up brushes and trying to figure out how to distribute the product. It bane of my existence. I think it took about 25 minutes because I was just like trying to like just make it move and it just was not moving at all. So unfortunate. Now the mattes in this palette are so powdery. They are so powdery, okay? I'm not even being facetious when I say this, but every time I would knock the brush on the side of the palette to get some excess off, 9 out of 10 times, 3/4 of the product would just magically fall off and float into the air. Think of it like the people at the end of Infinity War. Particles of dust floating through the wind. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be, is what I would be saying if I was Thanos, but I'm not. I'm sorry, I like my eyeshadow, and I don't want it to live in the fucking carpet. Thank you very much. There is so much kick up and fallout, it's disturbing. Think of it like Subculture from ABH. Before they corrected the formula and made it the dream palette it should be, all right? The version that is currently in Marshalls or TJ Maxx. Basically, that's the good palette. The one that they originally sold you was hot water trash. That's what this is, not cute. Now, there was a good amount of matte shadows that I actually did enjoy out of this palette. And they did offer a nice amount of pigment, did require to be built up a little bit. And I noticed that when combining some of the colors together, I was able to create really nice gradients. Granted, I had to go in about a lot of times to create that. Unlike some eyeshadow palettes I have, which can do it with ease, this one I had to work for. And still then the result, it could be better. The amount of time it took for me to make these 2 gross, mediocre looks is shocking. I think it took me 1.5 episodes of The Real Housewives of New York. No commercials. Okay? I like my eyeshadow to be very quick and painless. So right off the bat, I don't see myself reaching for this if I have to go to work. I have a certain amount of time that's allowed for makeup in the morning. Of course, this is talking about when I get to actually go back to the office. Right now, I have all the time in the world. Who cares? But on the days in the future, in August, when I get to go to the office, this wouldn't be the first palette I pick up. Not even in the top 30. At all. The worst offenders in this palette to me were the 2 shades Chronic, which is the dark green shade, and Roll It, which is the dark brown shade. Both of those shades are, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. They could have been great shades. They could have been. but they're not. But this eyeshadow implodes in on itself like a dying star. As soon as you lay it down, about 10 minutes later, it starts to disappear. You have such noticeable fading that it's just really off-putting. So you add more product and you add more and more and more. And when you think you're done, you still add about 2 pounds more. And you know what? Within 15 minutes, you start to see some fading. No matter what base I use, whether it was Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas base or the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, which are my 2 favorite bases that I like to use. I also did try it with P. Louise as well. I just found that it kept fading no matter what I did. Even setting it, not setting it, whatever. No matter what I did, it was just fading on my eyelids. My eyelids was eating this shit for breakfast. Honestly, they should name these colors Houdini because I don't know where the fuck it goes. I really tried my best to make a grungy bog queen witch smoky eye or whatever the fuck, okay? And at first it started to look really good. Then every time I closed my eyes, I would notice a lot of fading. So after adding more product and realizing I am going nowhere, I decided, you know what? Let's use that shimmer shade. I'm just gonna use it with my finger, try to pat it on. And that's when I found out that shimmer shade is very weird and finicky, where you can't even use your finger to apply it. I don't understand. I've never had that issue before, where a shimmer shade, usually the best application is with the finger. Not this though. This was like, bitch, we ain't playing today. If anything, it just left a few dusting of sparkles that just looked even more off-putting. I also like to make it a point that I do my eyeshadow first, always, right? And then I do my base and everything like that. And because I was like tinkering around with it, trying to like, I don't know, make it somehow look okay, I noticed that I was getting a lot of fallout, and unfortunately the fallout's not easy to clean. So I just look dirty, and not the hot kind of dirty either. See, I'm starting to get the balding right here in the corner. You can see right here I have some fallout. Basically looks like baby shit. And over here, so that's cute. And on this side, you can see how the shimmer shade is like really stuck right there. And it's really impossible to like move it out. And what I hate about this particular eye look too, is that there was some definition in the crease, and then I don't know what happened. It just started getting darker and darker and darker and darker. And that could be my own error, which it probably is because I'm not a makeup artist, but it's just so off-putting. Like, what the fuck? No, no. No, I don't like this. Full transparency, I had a $25 Sephora credit card reward that I used when I purchased this palette. So I actually got this palette for like $35 after tax. And now I'm questioning if that's even too much. I think it is. It sucks because aesthetically, I love this color story. It speaks to me so fucking much. However, the quality is so meh. I was really incredibly hopeful that this palette was going to have the same quality as the holiday palettes. But no, that's not the case here. I'm just really disappointed. Honestly, I'm on the fence if I even want to keep this little temperamental teenager. Like, I can't stand its shit right now. On the one hand, some of the mattes are fine. Yes, they have horrible fallout and kick up, but they're okay and I can make it work. Granted, it's gonna take a little bit extra finessing, but I can make it work. But I don't know if that outweighs the crippling disappointment I get when I see the other half of the palette. And considering how much of a train wreck that is, you know, I can't. If you're new to Melt Cosmetics and you want to try something from the brand, I highly recommend getting either the Gemini palette, or if you can get your hands on the 2 holiday palettes that came out in 2019, I recommend those. Those are fantastic. This, not so much. This ain't it, sis. This is not a beginner-friendly palette by any means. I will bow down to you if you can make this work, but I just can't. I can't. Anyway, with that said, even with some of the good aspects to it, it's not worth it to fucking jump through hoops for something, especially at a $60 price point. So, no, sorry. Fuck me. Anyway, with that said, let me know down below how you feel about this palette, if you're gonna pick it up, if you have it already, if you're having the same experience that I'm having, or if you're loving it, in which that case, I'm happy for you. Maybe I got a shit palette. I don't know. With that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I have a Patreon, which I want to say thank you so much to all my wonderful Patreon members. I love and appreciate you little dumplings, and I always thank you for your continued support. So thank you so much. And if you're interested in joining, I'll leave the information down below. I have 2 podcasts as well. And if you want to know what is currently on my face and where to get this product, I'll leave everything in the description box, so definitely go check that out. Continue to stay safe, and I'll see you pumpkins later. Bye.